Welcome everyone. We're back again. The team is back. As Vinny said in his last episode, he said cricket is the gift that keeps on giving. We're back here because there's a whole lot of things that is happening there in the World Cup. So I just thought quickly, get Vinny to comment on it. So welcome, Vinny.
Thank you, Martin.
How are you, bud?
I am well, mate.
For those of you, I'm just at Vinny's house here at the backyard. So thank you, Vinny, for also hosting us.
Pleasure.
Welcome to Borders and Beyond.
Welcome to Borders and Beyond. Just when we last spoke, Martin,
Yep.
48 hours ago,
Yep.
I think we finished up saying our next review will be in a couple of weeks, midway through the tournament.
We did.
Guess what? The tournament hasn't even
started. Yeah.
Well, if it even starts. the way
That's
it's going
where it's
around.
going
So,
now. Yeah.
Looking at recent events, I think it would be remiss of us not to record an episode right
absolutely,
now,
I
given the
agree.
current state of affairs.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
yeah.
all right. Let's just start off with some very quick things, right? Obviously, in the last 48 hours, we got a message saying that the Pakistan government had stepped in and said Pakistan will not be playing the Pakistan-India match, which is on February 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
Just to recap that
Yeah.
as well, Martin, I think when we last spoke, when we last recorded, it ended with Mohsin Naqvi putting up a post on social media
Yep.
with himself sitting opposite the Pakistan PM Shahbaz Sharif saying,
Yep.
we are now reviewing the matters and we will have a decision on whether we will be participating in the T20 World Cup either on Friday
Yep.
or a Monday,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then Sunday night,
Yeah.
right? We get, I say we get, the whole world just receives a post
Yep.
on social media from
Yep.
the Pakistan
Government,
government, from
yep.
the Pakistan government's handle, not the PCB's handle.
Yep.
And that's where I cut you off, Martin.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, isn't it? The government comes into play. It's obviously all politics now, and they have decided, which is bizarre in all sense. They're going to boycott the one game, that is India-Pakistan, but they're going to play the rest of the other games. So here we go. I mean, like now, the selective choosing and deciding who they're going to play. If the ICC lets it go, then it becomes a precedent, and then they can quote it next time. So I don't think. Well, I just want to hear your thoughts, mate. What's the next steps from here? What's going to happen? Give us a little rundown, and let's have this conversation.
Oh, look, Martin, the reality of it is, if I could predict what would happen, I would have predicted the Powerball numbers for tonight, and
Oh, yeah.
we'd be sitting pretty. But the reality of it is, as you correctly pointed out, so the post that the Pakistan government put out was essentially saying the Pakistan men's T20 team will travel to the World Cup, will participate. However, their match against India on the 15th of February, they will boycott. That was the only reason. That was the only statement given. So here we go. There's a post put out. There is no valid reasoning given, other than the fact that they will participate, as Martin pointed out, but they get to choose. They've stated which games they will play and they won't.
Okay.
The only one they won't be playing is India. That opens up a whole
Can of worms.
can of worms, and there's a lot of
Can of crap. That's probably
Absolutely.
can of crap.
Absolutely. It is to which the ICC pretty hastily, I might add, put out a statement, a retaliatory statement, if you like, a well-crafted statement as well, saying we acknowledge the fact that this is a statement put out by the government. We respect that the government has stepped in, but we ask, and I'm paraphrasing here, Martin, and
Sure.
for the viewers, essentially along the lines to like we request the PCB to reconsider the decision, taking into fact that there is a lot. Well, for starters, this is a global tournament. It affects the integrity of the tournament, as you pointed out, Martin. When you play in a game, you either go full in and say, I am playing, or I'm
Yeah,
not.
absolutely. I think you can't just pick and choose. That's just, you can't say, I'm going to play them. I'm not going to play them because you got to play everyone there, right? That's
And we'll get to that. And just sort of to complete what and they said, look, as beneficiaries of a system, this will have serious, and again, paraphrasing, they will have ramifications on on the future of cricket in Pakistan, not just the tournament alone. Because yes, it affects a whole lot of, there's a whole host of equations that gets imbalanced in this process as well. So,
You're talking imbalance. The whole damn thing is in imbalance now.
well, that's right. So,
I mean, you know, when you talk about that, you know, it's just insanity. I think it's just pure
so
insanity.
where do we begin, Martin?
I don't know, mate. To be honest with you, so I'm going to start off asking a couple of questions. Give me a couple of scenarios of where you think this is going to end up. Let's go with scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. Kind of give me what do you think? I mean, just give you a most educated guess. And probably none of it will come good. Some of it will come good. So let's just start off with, all right, the boycotted. What's the next thing? It obviously the ball is now in ICC's court.
Well, not really. The ball is
Okay.
The PCB. Well, not the PCB, by virtue of the Pakistan government's social media post.
Yep.
They served, and the ICC volleyed back saying, "Nope, I don't think this is a wise decision." In sort of veiled tones, they just said, "We ask you to reconsider, because mind you, there's a lot to lose at your end."
Okay.
Now,
So let's the operative word is reconsider.
correct.
Right. Now the tournament is starting in basically 4 days. It's
The irony of which Pakistan is
February-
playing the opener game.
Yeah, and February 3rd, we're in Australia. And so the 7th, it's starting. The first game is Pakistan against Netherlands. So what happens here now if Pakistan doesn't respond?
Okay, so let's.
So the clock is ticking.
Oh, absolutely. The clock is ticking. And I'll put it this way. When that post was put out by the Pakistan government,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to assume that the ICC responded in a way that they were expected to respond. I don't think anyone with their salt in the PCB or on that side of the fence would have said, "Oh, we didn't see that coming." I think when they put out that statement, they were fully aware that a statement of this nature would come, or the ICC would respond in this. So in that regard, I think I'll probably have to give credit to the PCB. The ICC has responded exactly the way they would have responded. There's no surprises there, because that's what a governing body does. When a participating team says, "Oh, by the way, we're not going to play this game, we'll play that game." So since then there's been nothing. So it's been close to about 24 hours. I think at this stage, if we were to look at the timelines, I'm probably sitting at about 17 hours since ICC's response, and the PCB has made no response. So
Right. So
everything suggests that the Pakistan cricket team has travelled. So let's look. Oh, sorry, you were asking.
Scenario 1. Game is starting in 4 days. There's peep squeak from PCB.
Correct.
Then the ICC has to respond within a certain period of time because they can't let it happen.
No.
Before they got 4 days, they have to respond, right? If they hear nothing, then the next step has to step in, right? The thing is, what I'm trying to drive at, they're running out of runway, right? They're running out of runway.
Correct.
Okay? So the question I have for you is, break it down. If they don't respond, how is this going to play out? What do you think? Look, educated guess.
Before we go down the educated guesses,
Yeah.
let's look at what collateral damage Pakistan is looking at this stage from their point of view. Let's try to put ourselves in their shoes for a second, and then we'll look at what's playing. And these are scenarios. Look, at the end of the day, people at the PCB, we have to give. I'll use the word credit loosely, but these are fully grown adults, right? People with sound mind and sound body that are making these judgments, right? Now we can put sound in quotes, but they would have looked at all of this. So the way they're looking at it is they're in a group with India, Namibia, Netherlands, and the USA. So we've got 4 games. We'll forfeit 1 game, right? But we can still win the remaining 3 games.
Yeah.
And make it to the Super 8s. So the way the format works is 2 teams from every group goes, and then there's a Super 8 tournament. Now, again, it's we'll get to that. So, and once it gets to Super 8 stages, previous editions of the tournament, rather, you would carry fourth points. But the way this year's edition works is once you get to the Super 8s,
It's a clean slate again?
it's a clean slate, right? So as far as the way again, I can't put words in their mouth, but if this is, I'm assuming this is what their reasoning is. In the grand scheme of things, we were supposed to play 4 games. 1 game we could have won or lost. I'm not saying it's anyone's game, but had we lost that, we still would have had to play 3 games and would have had to win 3 of them.
Right.
So what's the big deal? Again, this is putting it very, very plainly. And they've gone, we can still progress. That's all I can.
Okay, I got to ask you. This conjures up a new set of scenarios. If they're going to do that, they should have done it a day before the game and said, due to so and so reasons, we are not playing this game. We're forfeiting the game. Now that can happen, and that usually happens in games. And because they're now calculated that they can win these 4 games and go to Super 8s, and it's a clean slate. Assuming get to a clean slate, and here's my question.
I'm surprised you only have one question, Martin. I've got about 15 in my
Yeah,
head.
or it's a clean slate. They come to play India again, and they look at who is the remainders there and say, we can beat those guys. We might not be able to beat India because that's a challenge. We'll forfeit again. What happens now? Then it looks like it's a game being rigged.
Well, put it this, not even that, Martin. Once you get to the Super 8s, again, the way the tournament is structured, I can't get my head around it, but I think there's about 12 games in the Super 8s. Let's put it this way. Once it gets to the knockout stages, if, as we mentioned in the previous stage, if it gets to a semis where India and Pakistan, do you reckon Pakistan will forfeit that game?
If it comes to knockouts, they'll say no. They'll probably play the game because you know what?
But that's what I'm saying.
So basically what they're doing is they're gaming the system. They can game the system, and they will assess it based on who is in the Super. They can game this round, no problems, and they will get through. The next round, if it depends on who is in there, and they work out that okay, yeah, we need to play the game or we can't play the game. That's how they'll do. And if they feel that they have enough points or they can beat the others and they can work out the numbers, and obviously depending on how others perform, they say, well, we don't need to play. So they all of a sudden, the 3 hits that they're supposed to have, which is what you once told me, that broadcasters always work on, these 2 countries having a game against each other 3 times. All of a sudden, 2 out of 3 is gone.
It's not even that, Martin. You're saying it from a logical point of view. There's a lot of assumptions here that are being made.
Okay.
One, for starters, look, again, had none of these events occurred, if there was no history between this, if we just looked at the group on its own,
Yep.
India, Pakistan, Namibia, Netherlands, and USA, if you had to put money on who would be the top 2 teams in that, who would you put your money on?
Pakistan.
India and Pakistan, right?
Go on.
Okay, so the big assumption here is Pakistan will win the next 3 games. Now, the problem here is not the fact that they winning is not the only problem here. They'll get points, but by forfeiting a game, they, for starters, are putting their team on the back foot already,
Okay.
right? So even before the tournament started, they're sitting on -2 points. I'm saying -2, it's not -2, it's 0, right?
It's 0, yeah.
And they're awarding 2 points to India.
So let's just
basically.
assume-
No, but, sorry, I'll just finish up there. And where this gets tricky is, 1, they're assuming they'll win all the 3 games, right?
You are a better man, you will take it on.
I'll tell you why it is. It's T20 is anyone's game, and if you don't have to look that far. In the last edition of the T20 World Cup,
Yeah.
USA beat Pakistan.
No.
Yes.
Oh yeah, actually you're
Yes.
right.
So,
oh,
anyway.
shit. Oh
So-
yeah, you're right. Oops, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So,
Absolutely.
and look, that could happen to India. Anyone, right? So
Because that's
T20
the vagaries of T20.
Absolutely, right? So it's the other thing is the problem here and this is different to having played a game and lost. By forfeiting a game, it affects your net run rate, right?
Okay.
And here's the other, so the net run rate over here in a game where they're not playing, the conditions have been rejigged in this edition where by not playing that game, they're already on a negative run rate.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. The net run rate doesn't come into play if you have won the game.
No, I'll tell you why. This is where the third assumption comes in. Pakistan are playing all their games in Sri Lanka. You just need rain for a couple of the games to get washed out. And that's when net run rate comes into play. And Sri Lanka hasn't, well, that's part of the world hasn't been blessed with great weather. So points is very superficial at this stage. So purely from prima facie mathematics point of view, yep, they'll get 6 points. India will end up on 8.
Big deal.
Big deal. We're still through to the super finals. We've made some sort of a statement. And we'll talk about that statement that they propose on making. The problem here is, yes, that's where the net run. If one or two games get washed out, points get shared, net run rate comes into play, Bob's your uncle. Then go figure. So the team is already on the back foot that way. There's a whole lot of assumptions that they're hoping will.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, the rain aspect of it. Okay, right. Okay, so let's.
So
this is the permutation is getting weird.
Yeah, so no,
harder and harder now.
That's it. I guess that's surely the PCB would have considered this. If a layman like me sitting here in my backyard at 7:20 on a Tuesday can figure this out, people, and mind you, we don't get paid for this. People that get paid for that, surely they would have considered.
Sometimes
all this,
you'd be surprised at how badly these things are planned.
Yeah, but
because there's also a lot of. Well, I would just say this: there's a lot of emotion, and with emotion comes reasoning goes through the window. Man.
And you're spot on. I think this
reasoning,
is
go on.
This is I say decision. I'm reluctant to use the word decision. I'll put it this way. This is a statement that is put out purely based on emotion. There is a lot of baggage that. And I'm not going to say the PCB chairman in particular, Mohsin Naqvi is carrying. And I think that is the basis of this stance they've taken. And we'll dissect this further, Martin, and I will need your help to sort of to challenge me on this because the post that the government of Pakistan put out, it didn't have any reason. So there's yet to be, as far as I understand, up until like 10 minutes ago.
I read it. There was no reason.
There is no reason, and there's been no formal communication from the PCB to the ICC. So this is nothing being addressed to the ICC directly, right? As a landlord, this is the equivalent of me telling my neighbor, oh, by the way, I don't think I can afford this month's rent, so I won't pay this month. I haven't formally notified the landlord. So I haven't formally notified the governing body. The government of Pakistan put out a tweet, the ICC picked up on it and responded. That's where it is. There is no formal communication.
So let's dissect this. So they haven't formally communicated. This has come out. So it is, it's the government of Pakistan.
Yep. And the
But
players.
and now everybody is just sitting tight, waiting for the next dice to roll, right? And what happens now is Pakistan goes and plays the Netherlands, plays other people. Comes to the day when they have to pay, on the 15th, they have to pay India.
No, put it this way, Martin. Again, assuming that Pakistan will be allowed to play. Right?
Why wouldn't they allow it? Because the government has said something, the ICC has responded.
But what has the government said?
PCB has not officially communicated this.
No, that's right. So the ICC, again, is within their right to ask, okay, give us a reasoning. And they have well within their rights to ask for reasoning because, as we sort of touched upon in the previous episode, this was a schedule that was planned in consultation with the teams, especially India and Pakistan. So the previous edition, India refused to travel to Pakistan for the Asia Cup, and by virtue of that, all the matches were held in Dubai in particular. So Pakistan held their stance and said, okay, moving forward, we will not travel to India to play. And the ICC, to their credit, respected those conditions. So all of Pakistan's games
has been shifted to Sri Lanka.
Are going to be played in Sri Lanka, including the India-Pakistan game will be played in Sri Lanka. So now the ICC have gone, well, we agree to that. What is your reasoning to suggest that you won't play a particular team, in this case India. And the second, look, we can't equate this with the Bangladesh scenario, right? The Bangladesh scenario is completely different, right? Bangladesh scenario is complete. It was dealt with, that was taken care of because Bangladesh kicked up a stink. Pakistan had no beef with the ICC. There was no reason for Pakistan particularly to get offended by anything, or there was nothing directed to the PCB. I'm not going to say Pakistan, right? There was nothing directed to the PCB at this stage, right?
I mean, they pulled this kind of stunt in the last World Cup. What was it, last World Cup where they refused to play UAE, and then
that was the Asia Cup match.
Asia, sorry, my
Again,
apologies.
But that was in response to India, the Indian team rather, refusing to shake hands. So they took that as a bit of an insult, right?
Yeah.
Well within their rights, and they took.
But they escalated it.
Again, they were involved in that directly. My point here is Pakistan wasn't involved in any of the events.
No.
If anything, Bangladesh were the aggrieved party in this.
If you want to really go in that far, yeah, okay.
No. I'm just saying, Bangladesh kicked up a stink, right? And I say stink not in a derogatory way. They had reasons to feel offended. ICC responded. Bangladesh government responded for them, and it was decided Bangladesh would not participate. So they've gone. So they had legitimate reason to feel offended and take a stance. What is Pakistan's reason here? Other than the fact that they've stood up and said, we feel Bangladesh has been wronged, therefore we're making a stance.
That's okay. So my problem, my issue with that is that you're singling out a country for that. If you feel that Bangladesh has been wronged, then you step away from this tournament. You step away from the tournament.
That's a good point to make, but I'll tell you why that I think is flawed in this.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, I mean, okay, here is the thing. This is where I get, my logical brain doesn't compute, right? The IPL is a local tournament. I know everyone is going to crack the shits about it, but it is a local tournament. It's run by the BCCI. They can make the decision as to who they will allow to play in the local tournament or who they don't. That's basically.
Unfortunately,
it doesn't matter. It's not unfortunate about it. It's just as simple as that. Look, let's look at it this way. I mean, there's a boycott of Russian athletes, right? You can't go and hire Russian athletes to play soccer or anything now, or in fact, volleyball or anything. You just can't. So that's how so they've made this decision. They have moved ahead with it. Okay, Bangladesh escalated it, took it to 500. Fine, no problems. They've paid the price on it. They're out of the tournament. Pakistan is just looking at this and saying, "Oh, this is an opportunity for us to geopolitically they're playing the long game here. They say we're with you and we are, we are supporting you, and."
But in what way are they supporting? I think that's my question.
Okay, in what way are they supporting? But to Bangladesh, they're looking at it saying, at least there's someone with us.
But that's, I guess what, and you're right, you're absolutely right. So the Bangladesh team, the reasons they gave out, they requested for the games to be relocated. ICC didn't play ball, well within their rights. It doesn't work that way. And therefore, they decided not to participate.
Well, they were forced out.
What is Pakistan's reason? They've gotten venues that they've chosen. Mm-hmm. They had no problems with the schedule of it, right up until Bangladesh decided. And now they've said they won't play India, okay? Now the problem here is when they put out that statement, literally hours prior to that, the Indian under-19 team was playing the Pakistan under-19 team.
Yes, they did.
And the Pakistan under-19 team got knocked out of that tournament as well.
Where was this played?
Malaysia, I want to say. But, and I could be wrong on that, guys, please correct us in the comments.
Yep.
But the issue is, we've got a women's T20 World Cup coming up this year as well. Jeez. There's two groups, and guess who else is in that group? Surprise, surprise, India and Pakistan.
Oh, God.
So when you say you're not playing India, are the under-19 team not Pakistani players?
This is, okay, now I'm going to stop you right there, because this is all about optics.
Yes.
It's all about optics. It's all about narrative construction. The under 19 doesn't get that much airtime.
I'm going to say this got hastened because the under 19 team lost to India. Had they beaten and knocked out India, I think that's what they would have wanted in an ideal scenario, the double punch. The Indian under 19 boys get knocked out by Pakistan, and then they refuse to play India in. I don't think, because in the last time in the under 19 Asia Cup, when the boys met each other, the under 19 team, Pakistan beat India. So they were hoping for a good old 1-2 and they would have thought of it as the sort of ultimate sort of punch.
Okay, maybe.
It wouldn't have changed the result.
If you want to change that, but I think, yeah, all right.
Now, the reason why they've decided to boycott, again, they haven't given any reason.
There's no reason.
Right. So they've by boycotting it. Let's be honest. Let's call it spade a spade. PCB has nothing to gain from it.
And they have nothing to lose anyway. They've already.
There's a lot to lose here, Martin.
Hey, this is where I think I'm disagreeing with you, because like anything. This is the conversation.
And this is where we'll talk about the scenarios, right?
You're right. Yeah,
We'll segue into it.
Great segue into it, actually, because I think they have nothing to lose. Okay, let's put it this way. The PCB is not exactly flush with money. One, they are backed into a corner. And look,
Have they been backed into a corner? They've
Yeah,
chosen to go into a corner.
Yeah, they've chosen to go into a corner. That's fine. That's normal. That's what they do.
Is it?
Well, look, they've not really been known to make sound business decisions.
Well, this is a decision they just chose to take on their own. No one asked them. No one asked them, why are you supporting this? So it's almost like they've decided to dig a hole and then just jump in.
Yeah,
right?
that's fine. So the thing is, but what they're trying to do is they were trying to create certain level of they're doing narrative construction, and they're doing that through the process of doing all the shenanigans that they're doing, and which then hopefully they're thinking it will create enough momentum down the line to whatever outcome they are hoping to get. Now, one of the outcomes they probably are wishing for is that probably get India kicked out of any, but that's not never going to happen.
Look, there's a reason why they've chosen the India-Pakistan game. And let's start.
It's commercially the most.
Absolutely. And again, it's the world's worst kept secret. The India-Pakistan game in cricket in particular, especially in these World Cup tournaments, is the cash cow. It is the money grabber, which is why India and Pakistan are always in the same group. And we have on record as well that the India-Pakistan game was sold for 250 million US dollars, right? So there's a shit
$250 million
is riding on that game. Now, where this works, man, and this is not $250 million that is going to the BCCI. This is $250 million, one game that is going to the ICC. Now, the way the ICC revenue model works is this is then funneled and revenue is distributed to all the participants, to all the teams that are beneficiaries of the ICC. Now, someone like the big three, India, Australia, England, probably don't, this is not much skin off their nose.
No, it's the likes of the Kenya, the Nepal, the Namibia,
Correct.
the Zimbabwe.
So
these are the guys that, the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis, the Sri Lankans, the Afghans. It all matters to them.
Even someone like West Indies, like they are in the stripe. So they rely on this money to
grassroots promotion, all of that.
They don't have a lot of these countries don't have. I say countries, these playing nations don't have the resources. So this is a massive influx that they are depending on, right? So by virtue of holding this game to ransom, they've effectively said, not only are we, look, this Pakistan, like I said, PCB is standing to lose a shitload of money. There will be clauses in the contract, don't get me wrong, that with no participation, You
I
will
mean,
be.
look, this was the conversation me and Vinny had yesterday, right? And I'm going to take this up. Look, contracts are contracts. Problem with contracts is when a country like Pakistan, it doesn't really matter. Okay, you want to enforce it, fine, enforce it. There's penalty for it. Let's just assume the penalty is $250 million. What do you think the PCB is going to do? They say, yeah, don't worry, we're not going to pay this. So what are they going to do?
But Martin, again, that's just one side of the dice.
No,
There's
walk me through the other sides.
No, these are the long-term ramifications at the ICC. And I dare say, ICC, look, the way the tournament has been set up, the playing conditions haven't been revealed as yet. So ICC has almost bought, by responding so quickly, they can draft whatever clause in there that almost jeopardizes PCB stance, not in the tournament, moving forward. They can, so $250 million, like you said, an invoice for that is not the end of it. They could ban Pakistan from participating in any further editions of the tournament. They could de-recognize the PSL, and I could be wrong, but at the end of the day, ICC is, the way they can de-recognize this, there's a lot of international players that go into the PSL. They can what's the word I'm looking for? Cancel their no objection certificates. They can call back and say, no, we refuse to give that. You're not allowed, it's not a recognized tournament. Once they do something like that, then why would any international player? So they can, which also means that moving forward, they're getting zero amounts of money from the ICC. They're complete.
But here's the thing, though. My question to you is, will the ICC go to that extreme? Because Pakistan, all said and done, is a known commodity. And by doing
But they
it,
need to make a stance, Martin.
They do.
At this stage, now, by just slapping them with an invoice of $250 million, one, like you said, the word you mentioned earlier, they've set a precedent. If they allow Pakistan to go ahead with this, they've set a precedent of picking and choosing the game, it doesn't work. Now, there have been cases of forfeiture, but that's when there's cases of national security, or there's been a valid reason given. In this case, all the government of Pakistan has put out is, we are boycotting it. What's the reason? Nothing.
So now, the next time around, then the Indian team going to say, we're not playing Bangladesh. Yeah, we're forfeiting. But then it becomes becomes a sham.
But that's the thing. So now the ICC will, if the PCB doesn't play ball,
they'll be forced to take action. They have to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because if they don't, then everybody else will start playing these dirty
that's
games.
what I'm saying. So it can't be just a case of, we're going to charge you X amount. I think there'll be a lot more where it'll get to the stage where they'll say, cricket in Pakistan is dead. No one will play you. You will not play. Anyone that plays you will not have their stats counted for. There'll be no revenue. There'll be no future tours. No test playing nation will play in Pakistan, which means Pakistan just has the PSL to survive on. That is assuming they got. Now, the PCB have just introduced two new teams into the PSL, so they are sitting on some influx of money, not to the tune of $250 million, but they're sitting on a heap of cash at this stage. So I think that's where they're slightly confident. And look, in Pakistan's defense, for a good part of 10 years, they did not have any games in Pakistan, right? They still survived. Not only did they survive, they won 2 cups as well.
Yep.
They won the Champions Trophy.
Yep.
They won an edition of the T20 World. So look, for all intents and purposes, prior to this happening, back in our time, Pakistan was one of the forces to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? For absolute legends.
But they have not evolved with time.
Look, and I'll cut them some slack, right? It's not
because there's no money in it.
Well,
they don't have the money to bring in coach, the latest training techniques, the latest whatever that comes in. The game moves upwards.
Well, Martin, the way it's set up, unfortunately, is money comes in when the big three, especially India, plays a tournament, right?
So,
the big bucks. And why India not playing any more bilateral series, and Pakistan didn't have any local tournaments. So they were sort of had to play in the Middle East for a lot of time.
Allow me, I'm going to circle back to when you said the big three,
Yeah.
right? You're talking about India, Australia, and England. So we'll come back to it because there is a rumor floating, obviously, about the Australia and England looking at because of an issue. Let's come back to it. Let's deal with the scenarios, then I'll come back to that and let's just mix it all up and see where it will end up. All right. So scenarios. Okay. The ICC has to respond. We come to that. The ICC has to respond and has got. If they don't do it, they set a bad precedence, and then if they set a bad precedence, then it just becomes a nightmare to manage.
They'll come back with the most creative terms.
The only way forward is there has to be some kind of punitive action coming through, right? And this punitive action has to come through. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have to communicate this real quick within the next 24 to 48 hours at max. Cannot be more than 70. Cannot reach 72 hours. But the thing I'm wondering is, the PCB hasn't said anything. We started with that line. The Pakistan government has said something. The PCB has not officially communicated this. So by the PCB not communicating this, does it mean that the PCB can get away with that line and say, we didn't say anything. Yeah, the government said something, but we are an independent body.
No, that's an interesting point. But no, the reason they've chosen that path is, at the end of the day, the government's word takes precedence over anything. Right?
Okay.
If the government, but the only time the government's word holds weight is the government says, look, we feel that our team, our citizens are in threat, therefore we refuse to allow them to travel. Previous editions of the World Cup, where in the '96 World Cup, Australia refused to travel to Sri Lanka during the civil war in Sri Lanka, and they cited security reasons. Another reason was England refused to travel to Zimbabwe in protest of the Mugabe government.
That was a political reason.
But I guess there is still a reason, right? There is still and this is where the government's word takes precedence over the board's, right? And the BCCI has also always used the government's. So they say, we refuse to play Pakistan in bilaterals or engage or travel to Pakistan because our government.
So, okay. So then.
So I guess just to answer your question, sorry, just to close that loop.
So the government
has spoken for them. And and now the PCB and the players say, well, the Prime Minister has spoken for us.
Okay.
That takes precedence.
Fine. The ICC is waiting for a response. Now what? They have to respond. Because they're waiting for a response from the PCB, right?
Correct. Well, they've just said.
Yeah, all right. So they're asking them to reconsider. That's been the most polite of niceness. And saying, all right, you need to. But reconsider. But if they don't reconsider, what next?
If they don't reconsider, again, that's where we'll go through the scenarios, right? One, they will be kicked out of the tournament completely. Easier said than done.
That's already the second one now. Okay, yeah.
Right? Look, first is the financial ramifications from the tournament, right? Just for this game alone. Two, it messes up with the ICC's revenue sharing model.
It will.
Right? Three, they can't replace it with any team, right? It's affecting Pakistan, like I said, moving forward. They can put these whole host of conditions that effectively spell the end of international cricket in Pakistan, period. Whether it's right or wrong is for all of us to debate, but they can put all these terms. Now, what's the last? That's pretty much about it, right? They can be isolated from the cricketing world.
Okay.
They've
gone with isolation before.
Well, isolation just about playing cricket in Pakistan. So Pakistan still play cricket. They were still receiving money from the ICC. It's just that Pakistan as a host venue wasn't deemed secure enough. So for a long time, for nearly 10 years, their home base was the Middle East, Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So cricket still happened, Martin. Cricket still happened.
Okay,
They
so
still got money.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
talking about almost the
This is
South Africa apartheid.
completely the apartheid model. Just completely.
See you later.
See you later.
Thank you for your services. We're not seeing you anymore.
Okay.
They can go
I
down
think
that
that's
road.
extreme. I would be surprised if that goes that far, but it'd be interesting.
What's stopping them from not doing it?
Because that will lay a very strong precedence to say don't play with us.
And isn't that the idea of a governing body?
Yeah, it is.
It is the idea. So it's basically saying you can't take the mickey out of us.
You can't hold us to ransom.
Yes, and there is a reason why the governing body. Now, you would have thought, and this is where the second segment is why Pakistan chose to go down this route, right? And we'll discuss this. So yeah, and this is where I sort of touched upon, and I said, at this stage, there's a lot that Pakistan stands to lose at this stage.
Yeah.
The sort of points are probably the least of it. And as we touched upon with the Bangladesh thing as well, if it goes down that road, the players will feel aggrieved as well. There's only so much.
The ramifications I understand because you're basically.
And this is all speculating.
Yeah.
Right?
We're all speculating here. The ramifications I understand, but here is the thing, right? As we all intimated, in previous conversations we've had, even during the height of a lot of hostilities between India and Pakistan, we always played cricket. This was never held hostage, all right? Even the worst of times, it was never held hostage. It's unfortunately gone in this direction, right? Okay. And what used to tend to happen was there used to be a back channel and everyone talked to each other and they always managed it in such a way that things happen. Now, I'm not saying, I feel like there was a fair amount of grease applied. I'll put it that way, in a euphemistically, okay? And that way things happened. The situation, I think, is slightly different this time around because I don't think no matter how much grease you apply, there's an ideological situation where they want to take a stance. And that's where I think grease might not work. Previously where grease worked, might not really work.
And you're absolutely right, Martin. And I think, and we sort of prefaced this at the start of this conversation really, is yes, Pakistan have made this statement, but surely let's look at why they would have chosen down this road, right? They've taken a stance, but it's not just them taking a stance. This is to show to the rest of the world that, and it's almost to show to the Pakistan public at this stage as well. Mohsin Naqvi, I still go back to him. He's a politician. He's the interior minister. So by all, he is the government.
Can I just preface this by saying, just barely 24, 48 hours ago, there was a major attack in Balochistan and a lot of Pakistani troops got whacked. So, and there's been a lot of problems there. So anyway, yeah, I think he is the interior minister. He's also responsible for this. So if there's a way out of this, obviously this could be one of the ways. But anyway, go on. Sorry, my apologies. I just kind of interjected where I should.
No, please. There's nothing. This is a discussion, Martin. So please don't. You are absolutely spot on. Like, regardless of the geopolitical tensions across the borders, cricket was never the fall guy, if you like.
No,
cricket always
right
happened.
In the middle of after Kargil.
Yes,
we had this man. What was his name?
Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Yeah, I had what's his name? The Musharraf.
Yes, Musharraf. Yeah.
He rocked up there, and we had all the celebrities in India hankering to go and meet him. So
look, times were a lot simpler back then. Since then, India haven't engaged in a bilateral.
I'm not saying we should.
No.
Nobody's saying that either.
And look, we're not here to. We're talking about the events.
Yeah.
And India has only played Pakistan in World Cup tournament. So I think where this reached tipping point is, look, there is a widespread notion that the BCCI controls, right, pulls the strings, if you like, at the ICC level as well, because they provide the lion's share of revenue, and there's a lot of financial clout that comes with it. As well as great power comes great risk.
Well, let me make this very, very clear to all our viewers. any sporting organization, any sporting event, at the end of the day, is decided by who ponies up the money, right? And that's how it works. It's not just a phenomenon for cricket. You look at the IOC, you look at how the events are done, and you look at how many times the United States has hosted it. It all comes down to one single thing, and the entire itinerary is worked around American viewing time, because NBC or some of these guys,
That's for the IOC. And
yeah, they'll work it around. And at the end of the day, the Americans call the shots on that, right? Because that's where most of the revenue is coming from, right? The same thing goes for every single sport. It doesn't matter. That's how it works.
yeah, look,
Every major sport. So the fact that everyone sits down and whinges about the BCCI holding up, the fact of the matter is, if 90% or 80% of the money is coming from the Indian public, the ownership stays with the BCCI. That's where the money is. They can call the shots.
yeah, look, and
that's a fact of life. And it happens to be in reality in life too. Let's just look at it from a granular point of view. That's how life is.
yeah, Martin. Look, not disagreeing with that. I'm trying to balance the argument here because it shouldn't sound. I guess I'm going to play devil's advocate here with your point of view.
Please do.
No, and just sort of to balance the argument. You're spot on. Like at the end of the day, and there's a reason why. As much as we talk about the big three, right? There's other test playing nations. There's 12 test playing nations. There's a reason why all of these people still vote in favor of whatever decision the BCCI takes or the ICC takes, because the revenue is generated and this money then trickles down.
Absolutely.
Right? So with India proposing to play Pakistan, there's other teams that sign off and say, yeah, we're happy with that. $250 million, no problem, because eventually we'll get a share of that. What Pakistan, I believe, have done now is essentially they've gone, all right, we've got nothing to gain here. In fact, we've got more to lose. Let's go down and try to bring down everything with us. It's a crude analogy, but it's almost like white hacking. They're saying, we're going to show you that this model that they've created has so many holes in it. On the face of it, we look like we don't have a lot of power, we don't have a lot of money, but look how this tournament comes to a standstill when we refuse to play one game. That's the point they're trying to make here. Purely for optics, like you said, there's nothing. You think someone like an interior minister hasn't thought about the financial ramifications? They would have gone, yes. And like I said at the start, they've completely expected the ICC to respond in the manner they did. What did they think? They would have thought you think they would have expected the ICC to say, yeah, no problems. Well, they knew. They had everything in their favor and they're still refusing to play a game for no apparent beef.
All right. So the ramifications of this and the outcome of this is, one thing is going to be certain, I think, is that moving forward for the next tournaments of big cups, I think the concept of putting India and Pakistan together should disappear.
And that's the thing. I think sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It needs to disappear.
And that's the stance that Pakistan have made. Because essentially they've tried to call out the duality of the stance that the BCCI is taking.
Yep.
So they've gone, well, you say you don't want to play cricket with us, and yet you still
put us together.
And we know. And look, this is, again, Pakistan were well aware of the amount of money that this game is being sold for.
Yeah.
They also sign up for it, right? One, if they win, there's national pride attached to it. Two, if they lose, they're still getting some money. I'm not to say that they play to lose. Everyone plays to win. Yeah. So this is the status quo that has been maintained for the last God knows how long.
All right. So I guess moving forward, the lesson number one for the ICC is, do not schedule India-Pakistan again.
So what they're doing
by that notion, then yes, the broadcasting rights money will go dramatically down.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
So that's what they're doing now. They want to show the world, or show it to everyone else, that at the end of the day, this is the money that's generated by the BCCI.
Yeah, but it's not generated. Yeah, okay. Well, okay.
That's not true, Matt. I guess what I'm saying is that's the message they're trying to portray. That's the posturing.
They're doing the posturing to share. Yeah, agreed. I got that, and that's for the the uneducated to come in and look at it that way, but those who are just fly-by-nighters followers. But the fact of the matter is the money is going to the coffers of the ICC, not the BCCI.
Yeah.
And it's an ICC sanctioned tournament.
Correct.
So, all right.
And two,
Yep.
the other big point I think they want to make is all the last 3 editions of the tournament that the BCCI has conducted has had dramas attached to it, whether we like it or not. I say BCCI, but hosted in India. So the 23 World Cup had problems. It still went ahead. So now what Pakistan is doing is essentially from a lighthouse screaming, hey, the teams from the subcontinent, in brackets India, don't look like they're worthy people of hosting a tournament, a global tournament. So if I were England, Australia now, I'd be like, yeah, next time, let's.
But here's the problem with that, Joe. And I'll say this. Okay, take it to Australia, take it to England, and that's my suggestion, is to take it around the globe. The problem is, it doesn't generate the interest, and it does.
I disagree.
It doesn't generate the interest as much as it's being played in India, because people turn up at the stadium. So there's a lot of advertising that happens. If you take it to Australia, the broadcasters will just buy the rights for the certain games.
Yeah.
And then there's not a lot of premium that comes with it.
Unfortunately, Martin, the way the ICC runs is whatever game that India plays, it is scheduled in such a way.
Naturally.
Right. So, so the money.
Okay, yeah. But there is a difference between hosting it, because people will turn up and there's advertising there, and there is media with it.
Advertising will come regardless, Martin.
Okay, yeah, agreed. But what I'm trying to say is that if there's the X value for it being hosted in India, if the tournament is outside the country, the value is not X plus, it'll be X minus. Right? It's a simpler. Why do you think the IOC keeps bringing the games back to the United States? Because it generates more interest, and you have more money being generated in that way. All right?
See, the IOC's.
Okay, well, we'll take it.
No. I just say it's slightly different to, because the Olympics is. By definition, a truly global sport.
Well, I'm going to debate that. We can have that debate later. I will look at the World Cup football. It's usually handled in Europe.
Yep.
With the token going to South America.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Right? And if you want to host it outside of any of these countries, you have to pony up a shit ton of money. They can make sure that they make money in any direction. But by hosting it in Europe, you have because of the Eurozone, people can move around and come in and watch the game.
True.
All right? We don't have that. So I'm telling you right now, yes, the tournament should move. India should completely stop this system of where they're always winning hosting things. They just say, we're no hosting for the next 10 years, right? Because one is, it's just create a fatigue. It's just too much fatigue. Take it to South Africa, next time take it to England, next time take it to Australia, take it to New Zealand. Take it wherever, around the world.
Yeah. You're right. And in theory that happens. The reason we have fatigue is because we had the T23 Men's World Cup.
Wait, look, we just had the World Cup, this specific World Cup 18 months ago.
Yeah, but and that was...
All right, and then we're going to have this one.
But that was where? That was in the USA.
Yeah, all right.
So do you know what I mean? So
but
it's fatigue from the game as such, not from the fact that India is hosting it.
Yeah, but
the
I agree.
fatigue comes from the fact that we've seen this script play out again and
again.
It's India and Pakistan. They hype it all up, and let's call a spade a spade. Look, the India-Pakistan game doesn't live up to the hype.
It does not.
Tells. The quality of cricket is, I dare say, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka is probably a better game to watch purely from a cricketing point of view.
100%. Because the quality is not great.
It's
the only thing that drives it is the emotional charging.
Again, yeah, absolutely. It's the political.
And and the thing is, controversies. As I say, marketing. In marketing, any type of marketing is great marketing.
Great marketing, exactly right. So it's just that.
So, in certain aspects, I think some of the controversies in the past were jinked up. without a question.
Yeah.
It was jinked up, it was artificially created. This one, I think, is a bit different.
And that's what Pakistan with this stance, have decided to show. They're like, enough is enough. Because again, they felt there's a personal vendetta riding on this, right?
Oh,
Mohsin
shit, yeah.
Naqvi feels aggrieved. He feels he hasn't gotten the respect that he deserves. And he's taking a stance purely from the fact that during the Asia Cup, they refused to shake hands and they refused to take the trophy from him.
And there was no consequences for
There was no consequence. So this is a man that knows, and this is what he's also doing now, is showing that for all its talk, the ICC looks like it's just a house of cards. It's a Mickey. They talk of it as a governing body, but there's a lot of things that haven't been decided. Because had these been spelt out, the ICC wouldn't be taking so long. If Pakistan had taken the stance, they would have slapped them with the lawsuit and said, the fact that they don't have anything there, I think, and again, I'm speculating here, but I'm also trying to give some credit to the thinking behind this stance.
Oh, look, smart thinking.
Yeah, because
Give
like
it to
we
them.
said, the Champions
Smart.
Trophy, there's been no consequence. There was a lot of hoo-ha about the trophy being returned. There was going to be,
Asian Cup, you mean?
Asia Cup, sorry. They were supposed to have a meeting at the ICC headquarters in Dubai and talk to him. Nothing's happened. It's all been
Put under the carpet. And this will probably end up going under the carpet again.
No, this won't, because now I think what they've done is all the other teams around have said, we're done with the India-Pakistan nonsense. Apologies to people that take offense to this word, but it's essentially all these shenanigans. We're done with this. So now what Pakistan has done with this sort of posturing is they want everyone else around the world, everyone else is tired of this. They are going to start murmuring and saying, look, next time, no, enough. We don't want them in the same. They could be generating money, but we don't want them in the same group. Now let's go back to the broadcasting TV people. They'll come back and say, nah. Or they will ironclad their contracts to say, if India and Pakistan, we want a guarantee up front that the game will go ahead. We're not giving you this much money, or you value it at $250 million. We're going to do an independent assessment.
Well, we'll say 50 million if the game plays. We'll pay the other 200 million or something like that. Something will happen. Something will sit in an escrow account.
Yeah, or they'll ask for. There will be some guarantees that they'll request from the ICC.
Absolutely.
Right?
And they can't give any guarantees because it's political decision.
Absolutely.
So, guess what is going to happen? So all of a sudden, 250 million for the game, it will come down to 50 million if they play again.
If they even play again.
Yeah, and if that happens, that's basically what will end up happening. And then if they play, they would say, all right, we'll release this tranche of money for that, because that's. But I think, look, it's.
So what they've done is essentially call out that this product that they're trying to sell
is faulty.
And
it's got no legs.
And that's what they're all saying. So they're like, yes,
and they're smart.
BCCI may have money, but just by us refusing to say, see how the whole thing has come crumbling to a halt.
Absolutely. And there is, they have, I think the bottom line is, as you said, they're probably sick of playing bridesmaid.
Yes, at some point, yeah.
That's
I think
basically what, probably. But I think the product is also faulty. That's a start. The way it's been marketed, and it's also faulty. And I know all the bravado in Indian press is, okay, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. Bottom line, it does matter. Because at the end of the day, advertising is what keeps this game going.
Absolutely.
And let's not kid ourselves. You can chest thump yourself from here to Timbuktu, but the fact of the matter is, if this game doesn't go ahead, there's a lot of revenue loss, and I guarantee you the next time they try to sell this product, it is going to be valued more realistically than what it is right now. So, in saying that,
I'll let you finish your thought.
Well, go on. You wanted to add a comment before
I
circle back to go on.
Yeah, I just found it funny. I was just like, during the Asia Cup, if you remember, Martin, this was on the back of the Pahalgam attacks, right?
Yes.
So when that Asia Cup schedule was released, there was a lot of resentment within India saying why, and India and Pakistan were in the same group and they were scheduled to meet at least 3 times. There was a lot of resentment as to why India was even...
angst.
There was angst. There was a lot of things as to saying, they even said boycott Pakistan. Why are we playing Pakistan? What is it? It's not even a World Cup. The narrative has now changed to boycott Pakistan to Pakistan, how dare you boycott us? And that's the stance that these guys have managed to change around. So they're reveling in the glory, saying, 18 months ago, you wanted to get rid of us. Now you say, how dare you? It's the case of, no, you don't fire me. I quit before you fire me, sort of thing. You don't get to fire me. It doesn't count if I quit before you.
Yeah. So the saving grace in this thing, I think, in a very, very interesting way is, I think, as I said to you, I think there's a trial balloon that has floated, basically because of a statement. God knows where it came from, but there's this rumor floating around that both Australia and England are reviewing their participation due to the Nipah virus. Obviously, there's an outbreak of Nipah virus situation that's coming out of, I think, West Bengal, and this has resulted in issues there. Now, what do you think is going to happen? I think it's a trial balloon. The people are trying to see.
There's
what are your thoughts?
Look, if there is something, let's preface that with the fact that there are no confirmed reports. These are unconfirmed.
That's why I say it's a trial balloon.
It is, yeah. It is the rumor mill. So there's nothing in the press to suggest that this has. But look, they are well within their rights to be concerned, right? Yeah. There is a lot of, and I think a lot of this is the PTSD from COVID-19.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Right. So everyone's worried about that. So look, there is merit to that. If that happens, again, that's another scenario that the ICC probably hasn't thought of.
So I think it would be a saving grace for the ICC if these guys pull out, because then the ICC can come in and say, look, we're going to suspend the tournament and move it to somewhere else.
It's too late, Martin. It's too late. Unless there's a global lockdown, there's, again, we talked about where
the money lost for the hotels.
The teams have already traveled, Martin. So, Australia was in Pakistan nearly 24 hours, 48 hours ago, right? In the lead up to this. USA has already landed in India. The warm-up matches are being played out at the moment. There's a couple of warm-up games.
So I guess that's irrelevant. It's not going to happen.
Look, again, if an outbreak, I guess that's things beyond anyone's control, because that's when the governments will really step in. Right?
Yeah.
So if we were looking at it purely from a cricketing point of view, what this has shown is the sport is flawed.
I don't think the sport is flawed.
I'm sorry, the system that governs the sport. Sorry, the sport. That's my
the way the tournament is structured is flawed.
Everything, the product is.
It's got holes.
It's got heaps of holes. I think what they've shown now is, it is concentrated purely in one end, as much as the ICC talks about it. No, this is
it's nothing they can do about that one.
Martin, the reality of it is, with the BCCI taking that stance against Mustafizur Rahman, purely, let's be honest, let's call it spade a spade, on the fact of his nationality, right? Then Bangladesh taking a stance was purely to protect the internal.
But here is the thing. Okay.
And I'll just finish my thought. The people that have suffered, the only thing that has suffered is the game itself.
Yeah.
The people that have won are the political parties.
Okay, let's look at it as sliding door movement. Let's say the BCA didn't do this, right? Bangladesh is still in. What stops Pakistan from doing something similar again? Okay. Nothing.
Well, yes.
Nothing, because they've done it before.
Yes, but they've no reason, unless something happens.
They have no reason now.
The reason they're giving now is, again, not officially, they just said, we're standing with Bangladesh because we think it's injustice.
You can conjure up.
They can conjure up,
they can come up with anything, man.
No, they can, but these tournaments were carried out.
It doesn't, look, narrative building doesn't require a sensible.
But sorry, you're right.
So they went and said they're not going to play the UAE. What was that about?
That was in response to India.
Yeah, but UAE. No. Because the only reason why
they didn't say they were not going to play UAE. They said they didn't want to participate in the tournament.
Exactly. But the thing is, there's a lot of backward political pressure that would have been applied. Both the UAE government plus Mohsin Naqvi, he's the chairman. He will lose face. So obviously he couldn't go that far with the threat.
and my I say counter argument only to balance out the debate, is all this happened only because, like we said, every time, we've always had some political tensions across the borders, but the game has always sort of steered clear from it, right? With India refusing to shake hands, that was the first instance of politics seeping into it openly. That's not to say politics never happened, right? It was always sort of side-mouthing politics in the background. With the BCCI, with the Indian cricket team, I'm not going to say BCCI because with the Indian cricket team refusing to shake hands in that tournament, because as if anyone's watched our previous episode, during the press conference, when the teams are revealed, during the Asia Cup, both the captains shook hands and wished each other best of luck, as professional athletes do. But it was only just before the game that the Indian captain and the Indian team management decided to take a stance and say, we will refuse to shake hands. Not only will we refuse to shake hands, we will refuse to engage with the broadcaster of Pakistani origin. So if you remember the toss, there were two sets of commentators. So that was the first instance of politics openly coming to the game. So what the PCB and Mohsin Naqvi did in retaliation to that was they took offense to that. And look, it didn't help that they lost the game as well. So it was a double sort of whammy. And they took offense, and that's when they threatened to not participate in that game. It wasn't anything against UAE. They just felt offended, rightly so, on a public stage, that they weren't given the respect. Because as far as they were concerned, they were on a level playing field. So that's where it started. So now I guess what PCB has done is retaliation for that.
All right. Well, we've kind of dissected it from the India-Pakistan thing to no end. So the question I have for you here is, if this Nipah virus thing goes the way people are expecting it to go, what's going to happen? They can obviously cancel the tournament.
That's global forces, though.
Yeah, all right. So there's obviously insurance against that, I would assume.
Unless it's a global pandemic.
I don't think the government of Australia or England...
It hasn't been declared. They've just put things on alert.
Yeah. I don't think the governments of Australia and England will unilaterally make a decision unless it's all consulted internally and it's taken up with the political decisions upstairs. And I think because there's a lot at stake here, especially in this world of churn where everyone is trying to sign free trade agreements with each other and everybody's got skin in the game.
And everyone's still recovering from COVID.
And everyone is recovering from COVID, and there's a whole host of things that is happening. So yeah, look, it's but I think it was still a trial balloon being floated to see how this thing is going to go. Funnily enough, I don't think there's been a lot of mention about it.
No, there's nothing in the press.
So the press has gone all silent and funny. So yeah. Anyway, so
your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess this is where I need you to put your thinking hat on and tell us, what do you think in the next 48 hours is what is going to happen? What do you think? Where do you think the PC? Okay, let's just look at the logical part and let's look at the emotional part and tell me what do you think is going to happen?
Okay, so
and nobody's going to hold you to it, brother.
Okay, and this is purely speculation. I'm just going to say the PCB is eventually going to play this game.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Yeah, look, there'll be a lot of arm twisting, but in the end, I think, and the posturing that they'll take there, the stance they'll take there is they've been arm twisted into it. They didn't have a choice. They had to play it because there was a lot of...
Do you think there's been a lot of grease applied? There'll be grease in some Swiss bank account?
I don't think even that. I think it's within the players itself. There will be genuine
Forget
worry.
The players.
No, they'll be worried. Like, if we get cut out, what's our next course of action?
Mate,
are we destined to play
I'll put it bluntly to you, mate. In that, in the country west of us, the most popular politician sitting in jail. So forget the players.
Yeah. Look. So I think all they're doing now is, one, they've shown the world that the ICC, for all its bravado,
it's just a paper tiger.
It's a paper tiger. There's nothing. So this will...
And the product has got holes, from
massive holes.
Big holes as big as, you name it. fine. It's got holes and it's leaking water like there's no tomorrow. And it's a boat that is, if they don't patch it up real quickly, it will sink very quickly.
It will.
All right. It'll be like the Titanic hitting an iceberg, but 10 times worse.
Exactly right.
All right. Okay. So
at least the Titanic didn't know the iceberg was there. This is, they can see the iceberg
we're still going for it
from the moon, and they're still
it's a bit late.
So all they're doing now is one, that, and two, I think it's almost like the Robin Hood syndrome. They're standing up saying, we're the ones that are...
We're the small boys.
We are the small boys.
David Goliath.
David Goliath. We're the ones that are taking up a stance. Look, if we can do it, if we unite, we can stand up to these guys, the bullies of cricket. And let's be honest, that's how the Asian Cricket Council was founded in the first place, which is India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, right? Because of the way the power was concentrated with England and Australia back in the day.
Yeah.
So they can say, we can create our own little segment here if we stick together. So we just need to join hands. We're happy to lead from the front. We just need you. So that's all I think they stand to gain in here. I still think, and for the sake of cricket, I hope cooler heads prevail. I can't speak for Mohsin Naqvi. I don't think anyone can besides the man himself. I can't speak for the PCB. I can't speak for the ICC. But I think they will eventually come good and they will play. But yes, now the product they've shown the world that the product is flawed. The game, the way the game is structured is flawed as well. And look, put it this way as well, after all this, if I were Pakistan, and I don't mean to offend any viewers that support the Pakistan cricket team, if they lose the game against India, they'll say, oh, look, we were never in it anyway. We didn't feel like playing. Do you know what I mean? We just played it because we were forced to play. On the other hand, if they've defeated...
That's a good excuse.
Right? As a politician, they've just go, look, we never wanted to play, but we were being slapped by this massive fine, so we just played. The boys never wanted.
They were never there.
They were playing against their will. If they win against India, David versus Goliath, we've beaten them, and we've... So from that point of view, they're looking at it as a win-win. So that's why I still think they'll come good. And... yeah, so what if they
have an excuse in both directions?
Absolutely. And if they lose, if they progress in the tournament, they'll still say, we still did well besides, even though the odds were stacked against us.
Yeah, I hear you. Interesting times, isn't it? All right. Okay. So on that absolute lovely note, I mean, I just want to say to our subscribers and to everyone that's watching this, it's... You have no idea what strings I had to pull this man to come in and have this conversation, and we're doing it in his backyard. Look at this lovely place. Oh man, no and because we all work full time, by the way, and we're just doing it for the love of the game and for the love of the for the broadcast itself, and basically because we enjoy this. So I just want to say a really, really huge thank you, but I will quote the big man himself. Cricket is the gift that keeps on giving, all right? And I think this gift will not stop giving. No. So I think we might probably be back here in the next 48 to 72 hours with even bigger updates, as this thing progresses, and it's just going to be an interesting time. So I just want to say, mate, we really appreciate you stepping on this, and I personally appreciate you doing this.
The pleasure is all mine, Martin. Like you said, it's always nice to have, and thank you to the viewers for sticking around as well.
Absolutely.
I know it's a lot of back and forth between we're mates at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
So thank you for sticking around. Your likes and subscribes that give us the inspiration to
continue out. Correct. I mean, and the fact that people are watching it, and we look, we're doing this for the love of the game and for the love of, basically, we like talking things. And between me and him, all we do is talk cricket, and we have a couple of beers and we sit down and talk, and it gets worse as the number of beers increases. So that's why we have brought it down to one. And we just want to...
That's a school night, because it's a school night.
It's a school night, yep. All right. So on that lovely bombshell, I'm going to close it off. Thank you very much, everyone. And for those of you who are coming for the first time, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. And for those of you who are returning, we appreciate you coming in and watching us do this monologue or dialogue or whatever you want to call it. Thank you very, very much, and we appreciate you. On that lovely note, goodbye.
Goodbye.